In this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on the Vasto, Gama do existence, and that's going to be based off the vastness range of our existence that allows us to be able to engage not just a specific perception, action, or behavior, but engage in a wide range of different things that we can do, ultimately, from drawing, playing music, from going on an adventure and journeying towards a interesting forest pathway that takes us to a nice space that we would never otherwise find, in which we could set up a day and picnic and bring some food for lunch, in which we have these tasty meals to eat. And the ação in our experiences that we use to categorize various different words really help us to actually open up our wonder and wonderment to be able to explore the emoções that are most acepçãodade, because those meaningfulnesses within those processos, the subjectivo-objectivo relationships, allow us to be able to engage those more wicked, awesome, and sick experiences that truly allow us to expand our expanders of thinking as a pensador who can engage more the deepening-expansivenesses within as we engage different regions of our mind in our mente, corpo, conexãos, which reflects different transformations within the nervous system as we're engaging translation processes of meaningful information. So if we're, say, visually processing information that's occurring in the back of the brain, and also the front of the brain that's associated with that word language processing that's based in semantic processes and behaviors, in which we were able to meaning interpretation, particular symbols, not just of our visual processes, but also auditory processes, and all these multi different sensory forms and formulations, and that we can also get better at being able to conjure within our own minds, that is occurring in this seemingly ethereal consciousness, in which conscience we can balance the peso of each thought, and this allows us to be able to weigh and evaluate the future forecasts of how we might feel in regards to specific sentiments. Not so much the feelings, but the sentiments within those feelings, and the sentimentality within those feelings, in which there's actually more of these higher order cognitions that are at play, in which for us to be able to attain certain states, it really requires us to uptake responsibility through our agency processes that our self-directed learnings are engaging meaningfully in. And this is because as we engage in more different things that we can do and stimulate different regions of the brain, we start to return to those centralities of our meaningful existence and the boundness and situatedness to our existence, as it must be good enough and necessary conditions to create the constitutions of valid, psychologically true, and meaningfulness processes dentro the corpo of the ultimately the mind, in which is operating the mind and body connectives and representative associativities that pertain to the word processings, in which are more meaningful to us. And as we can move into the encompassing terminological associativities that are more precise and refined, we are better able to calibrate our meaning processes in these well-calibrated processes that become more well-defined and allow us to engage on women wit the meaningful information processes that are most centralizing to what truly creates meaning in life. And as we're engaging more different activities, say the auditory processes are being processed in the temporal lobe of our brains, and also responds to a different set of neurotransmitters at different frequency, cadence, and wavelength that you could see measured in different various technology, say an fMRI or an EEG headband, in which there's these wavelengths that can be measured. And right now you can actually purchase EEG headbands online, and I had one actually for a bit, and I was using it, and I quite enjoyed it actually, because I quite enjoy the mind sciences in general. But as you're able to engage different sensory modalities, and even your motor cortex, your cerebellum is more in the center of your brain, but also a little bit lower, you create more connectivities within your nervous system, and that's directly these transformations that are encoding and storage housing any more meaningful information did through mente and corpo conectivos that allow us to not just lead more meaningful lives, but become more physically and psychologically healthy, and improve upon our physical and psychological well-being, primarily through these pathways of meaning that start with our ego needs, and being able to gratify those ego needs, put ourselves in ego balance, and lead more self-actualizing lives through specific self-actualization tendencies that are ultimately the stepping stones of meaning that get us up that mountain to summit and instantiate our original thoughts, and being able to reach those precipices in which ultimately provide the greatest meaningfulnesses and worthwhilenesses to our existence, and involve these feelie-wheelie, worthwhilely meaningful emotions that we capture the awesomenesses of our existence within the meaning processes that are most becoming of meaningfulnesses. And that's all I want to say for this video. I hope you have an awesome one. Bye.